Welcome to texTalk, a digital resource for news and information for the Texas Conference. I'm Tom Grove, your host, and I'm here with our new conference president, Dr. Ismael Castillo.
How are you doing, Tom?
I'm doing well. It's great to have you in this chair. That chair has gone through many different people over the last month plus.
Yes.
So just to let people know, on Thursday, the executive committee elected you our new conference president.
Yes.
It was quite a process to go through. We went through a number of candidates, interviewed 3 on Thursday, and we believe the Lord led us, because I'm part of executive committee, to choose you as our new president. And you have hit the ground running, haven't you?
It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
The whole process, from going from the conference to the union, and then the whole process there to come back. And yes, I was elected on Thursday evening, afternoon, almost evening.
Almost evening.
And then on Friday, 6 a.m., I was driving to San Antonio to see you there.
We had a convocation. We'll talk a little bit about that a little while. But yeah, you definitely hit the ground running.
Yes.
And we were joking that you hadn't even unpacked your office at the union office.
Yes.
Not because you anticipated coming back. It's just the busyness of these last
That's how
4 or 5 weeks. But we're excited to have you. And having worked with you a long time, I'm excited to work alongside of you.
I'm pretty sure that God is going to lead you.
Now, for those who don't know you, a lot of our Hispanic congregations, because you were the vice president for Hispanic ministries and the associate, you've been in the building for 9 years. They're probably familiar with you.
Yes.
The rest of the conference may not be as familiar with you, even though you've been part of the team here. So we're going to take an opportunity to get to know you a little bit. So talk a little bit about your background. You weren't born in Texas, right?
No, I was born in Mexico, and if you heard of the city of Monterrey, there's a university down south, which is called Montemorelos, which is, a lot of people know about Montemorelos. I was born there, and my dad is a pastor. So I was born within weeks of his graduation, actually.
Oh, wow.
And then he was a pastor. He was a pastor in Mexico City, in the south city of Mexico, which was Puebla. And then he became, we went to Chiapas, the south of Mexico, beautiful place. So I lived my life in Mexico all the way up until 18. Then from 18 to 20, I was in Tennessee, where I learned English.
We were talking about that after you graduated high school in Mexico, you came to the U.S. to learn English in the mountains of eastern Tennessee.
Yes, I didn't pick up the accent, I don't think.
No, no one can accuse you of having a Southern accent.
Okay. Yeah.
But so you learned English, which I think you're doing very, very, very well.
Thank you.
And then you went back to Monterrey
to study theology. I was pastor there for a year, and then while I was studying my master's degree, then I received a call to come here to be a pastor in Keene Spanish.
So you were the senior, you were the youth. What was your role at Keene?
I was a youth pastor in Keene Spanish. Many of you will remember Elder Rigachi. He was a senior pastor in Keene Spanish. He called me up in 2000, and I was a youth pastor there for 8 years.
Wow.
So 8 years, and I enjoyed every year. So yes, I was there. And I worked with the youth, young adults, and club ministry, and it was fun.
And then after 8 years at Keene Spanish,
then I remember that the Spanish coordinator was Elder Craig, and he called me once after a meeting I had with the youth. He called me and said, "Are you sitting down?" I said, "No." "Well, sit down," he said. And then I was invited to be the senior pastor for the Spring Branch Church in Houston, which I pastored for 9 years.
Which is one of our largest Spanish churches not only in Houston, but in the conference.
Yes, and it is an intense church with a lot of club ministry, a lot of youth activities. So, and I had the privilege of working with associates. One of them is here in the office is Elder Ismael Castillo.
That's right.
So we worked together for 5 years.
You have had a lot of associates that have gone on to continue to work.
Yes. So yes, I was there for 9 years. Of course, I had other small churches to coach other churches. But yes, that was my experience in Houston. Beautiful experience, beautiful time in Houston.
And that's where we crossed paths. Is not that I pastored in Houston, but we sat on committees together. We did
Yes.
stuff together.
I think it was constituents
Constitutional bylaws.
and
Yes,
bylaws.
that's
Yeah,
right.
Constitution and bylaws. Yeah.
And it's executive committee. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I got to know you before I came
Yes.
into the office, and you came into the office.
Yes.
So then, what year did you come to the conference office?
In 2017.
Okay. What
And
was your?
I came. I remember Elder Rigachi. I came here for executive committee, and then Elder Rigachi called me to his office, and then he asked me, I'm thinking of you because the Hispanic work has grown so much that I cannot keep up with.
Right.
So I need an associate. So after months trying to open space in the budget, they opened it finally. So he invited me. I said no at the beginning. And I remember I said no and driving back crying because, God, why, I'm so happy where I am. I called my wife, and my wife said, you know what, we believe that God has called us to do something, and do not close the door. You can say no, but don't close the door, and we have this saying with my wife and I, that we can go to the place where God wants us, either in the belly of a fish or in our car.
I like that.
So we'd rather go in our car to the place where God wants us.
So you became the associate
to Hispanic ministries.
How long were you?
4 years.
So talk a little bit about what that role is.
Well, Hispanic ministries is kind of a mini conference in a sense due to language.
Right.
So we are the link between all the departments in the conference. So we work with not we now. When I was there, the department actually, the department works with all the different departments. And it is like a bridge between the churches and plus is everything that has to do with pastoral transition, evangelism initiatives.
Okay.
And also some, that the Hispanic department shares the burden of ministerial with the ministerial department too. So you have all those elements plus the other ones. So yes, it's an intense department, but very gratifying. I want to say this. Yes, it's intense. Yeah. I was doing some numbers from January all the way to the second Sabbath of May. One Sabbath only, I didn't preach.
Yeah.
And even in those months, I had 2 evangelistic series. Of course, it's not ideal in the sense of, you get tired, but in my perspective, the office has meaning according to how much you spend time in the churches.
And you have really exhibited the ethos of we're here to serve.
Yes.
We're not here to sit in the office. We're here to serve.
Yes, because the ministry happens in the church, local churches. Yeah.
And so in 2021, you became vice president?
Yes. And it was the same thing, Elder Rigachi, because I was, imagine, Elder Rigachi was my senior for 12 years altogether. So he moved to the union, and I become a VP for Hispanic ministry for the past 5 years. Yes.
And then April 26th, we joke about that day being the day of great movement.
Yes, it was.
What was your thought process through all of that?
In all this, is at the end of the day, the nature of our profession is that we go with where God leads us.
Right.
It's not our decision, it is God's decision. And sometimes, you have a clear no. Sometimes you have a clear yes. And sometimes when you're not sure, what I've learned is to trust the process.
Right.
So when the union constituency came, I knew that I was kind of, you were kind of too, for whatever, we are because of the position, not because of us, but because of the position puts us in a different light. And, but I assumed after I saw that Elder Elton De Morris was going to the union, I assumed, okay, then things might change. But then they didn't. So then, I moved to the union.
Because we love to joke with you, because that was one of the positions, Elder Vergacci had announced his retirement. Yes. So we knew it was going to be open, and we were joking. I constantly was
I remember
about
moving
up to
and now afterwards I can say to you that I never knew how to react, because would come and then I would try to react, and then afterwards I would say, no, I need to be a little more like this. I never knew exactly how to react to that, to be honest. Yeah.
So literally a month.
Yes, a month I was there, and for the first 2 weeks, a weekend or in 2 weeks, I was very concentrating to learning a new, completely different dynamic. Yeah. And then And then the conference started the process, and I became a candidate again.
Yeah.
So then the whole thing changed again, and I was trying to, being ethical to my new job, but at the same time, somehow you have to understand
And
that there's a possibility.
and what a lot of people outside of the church, because I've had some conversations with folk outside of the Seventh-day
Hmm.
Adventist bubble, so to speak, talking about all of this transition over the
Yeah.
last, a month plus, that the moment
Hmm.
you are elected,
Yeah.
you go there is no
Yeah.
24-hour waiting period, there's no a month waiting period there. I mean, it is literally
Yeah.
the moment you are
Yes.
elected, you become.
Yes.
And that really, as you mentioned, you were elected Thursday afternoon,
Yeah. On Friday, I
and
was.
then Friday, I mean, literally, you were the conference president,
Yes.
and then you were on the road to San
Yes,
Antonio.
and this weekend has been a good experience in the sense that I have had the chance to see from a different perspective the dynamic in the church. Of course, I was thinking, it's better to come to the office and then go to the churches, but this way it came different, which is fine. So now, after the experience this weekend, I come here to the office with a fresher understanding because of the perspective that I saw.
One of the coolest things that I observed over the course of the weekend that we were in San Antonio for convocation was, again, you've been here a long time.
Yeah,
The number of people that were able to congratulate you,
yeah,
you're in the office, we
yeah,
do the staff and all that, but then it takes a couple weeks to get out into
yeah.
the field after you get your feet. But this was literally, you were in the field with the great members in San Antonio.
Yeah, I
And
think that the executive committee I was presented as a president for the executive committee in the union on Thursday around 5-ish, 6,
mm,
somewhere there. And 6 in the morning, so 12 hours later, I'm driving to San
yeah,
Antonio. So yeah,
and I had the privilege of introducing
thank
you
you
to
very
our
much.
pastors. And
Thank you.
so tell us a little bit about you did your bachelor's, you did your
Yes, of
master's at
course.
Montemorelos, but you also have a doctorate.
Yes, I
And
do.
it's not a traditional doctorate for a pastor, in the sense that
Yeah.
it's not a doctor of ministry, it's a PhD, but you have a unique spin. Talk for a little bit about what that degree looks like.
Yes, of course. The reason I went to Tennessee for 2 years to study English is because I didn't know what to do after high school. My mind was all over the place. I thought I was more in control, but my parents didn't think so. So they had the wise decision of saying, you know what, why don't you go away, clear your mind, learn something that's going to help you in the future, and you come back. So about 3 months before school started, I felt the call to ministry, not necessarily to pastoring, but to to theology. Let's say
Mhm.
it that way. So I entered the a theology program in Montemorelos for 4 years. I After I finished, I had to say this with some embarrassment, to be honest. I received a call. I rejected it because I want to be a teacher. I want to be because my dad he's a pastor.
Mhm.
Yet he has worked in the educational setting.
Right.
My grandfather was a pastor, but he also worked all his life in educational settings. So
Okay.
I'm assuming in my mind that that's my line too.
Sure.
So, but then my dad talks to me and say, you know what, your experience in the field is important. So I remember crying all afternoon after my dad convinced me. And then I called the president of that conference, and he was kind enough to accept me back.
They-
And then, so I was pastor in the center of the of country Mexico for 1 year, and then after 1 year in that time, you would be 1 year in the field, and then go back to study your pastoral ministry, a master's degree,
right.
or divinity.
Right.
But because in my mind I still had this education element, I chose education, a master's of education,
Oh, okay. Right.
and the reason is because, again, in my mind I thought that would be my line. Now, sadly, I have to say that the scholarship covered for a pastor to study this other master, so I had to pay for this on myself. So
Oh,
it was
wow.
going to take me a little bit longer than what I
Sure.
expected. So yes, I finished a master's degree in education with emphasis in administration
Mhm.
and leadership. And then I had the privilege of studying doctoral. I was going to go for a doctor at the DMin,
Mhm.
but because of my master's degree, it wouldn't allow me. So I had to finish a
Oh,
MAPMIN or something.
gotcha.
So then the option I had was to study a PhD. So looking around, the one that was closer to what I wanted was the one that Montemurro was offering, and it's a it's a PhD in education. And if you want to call it, if you want to be more specific, it has to do with of curriculum management.
Okay, sure.
But I I I think the resources that I've been exposed to has given me a different perspective on ministry, a more of a from an educational perspective. And it has been, I think, it has been enriching for me because, again, sometimes people think education, school. No, no. One thing is a doctor in education, but not necessarily in schooling.
Right.
So education, happens in the home, happens in the church, and happens in the school. If you go to a church, whatever church you go, you're gonna receive a curriculum. Your kid goes to his Sabbath school or her Sabbath
Yeah.
school, and it has different singings and movements, and that's schooling. And then you take seminars on marriage, on health, on cooking, on finances. So it is like the church gives you a curriculum. So I my doctoral degree gave me that
Gotcha.
perspective of the
Okay.
church. Yes.
So you talked a little bit. You've referred to your wife,
Yes.
Lizette.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about your family.
Yes, of course. My wife, she's from the northwest of Mexico. I am from the northeast. She's from the northwest of Mexico, a city called Mexicali. And she came to study in Montemorelos, nutritionist. She's a nutritionist. But when we moved to the U.S., she wanted to stay with the kids
Mm.
while we're adapting to a new dynamic here in this country. And then this idea of becoming a teacher came up, and she took the required tests and courses, and now she's a teacher. She's a high school teacher. And let me say, yeah, I don't think I have that.
No.
I don't think I have that gift, but she does, and she does pretty good. So yes, she's a teacher
She,
here in the Fort
she
Worth
is
area.
someone that is. I mean, she exudes warmth,
Yes, thank
but
you.
I can also imagine that when push comes to
Yes.
shove, she can put her foot down, so to speak.
She has the character or not the character, but I guess the dynamic. She understands the dynamic of that age so well that she's able to befriend, but at the same time to be the teacher. And when she comes home and tells me the stories, it is like, wow, if I was you, I would just maybe I would they would have fired me already, throwing
Yeah.
stuff to the kids. And
Yeah.
so yeah, she's pretty good.
So what about your kids? You have two
My
adult
son,
kids?
yes, my son, he's a teacher also. So the education
Continue. There you go.
continues there. So my son is a teacher in Houston in the Houston Adventist Academy, and he's in high school. He likes high
Yeah.
school more than so.
And he teaches music.
He teaches music. Yes, so
Very
he's finishing. He's 1 year from finishing his master's degree.
Okay.
And oh my goodness, it just
It was there a minute ago. Okay.
yeah, sacred music.
Oh, sacred meal. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Whatever that means. Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's his master's degree that he's taking there in Houston. And then my daughter lives in Austin, and pretty soon I'm gonna be a granddad.
Yeah. She's married and now a little bundle of joy come along, little boy,
A little boy, yes.
which is exciting for
Yes.
for you.
People tell me what it is. People try to explain to me what it means to be a grandfather. I try to imagine it. I have no idea. So later on, I can tell you how it feels.
I'll let you experience. My kids are a little younger than your kids. We're almost the same age, about a year between us. And I'm like, man, Ishmael's a grandpa. It's like, wow.
I
But
know.
you'll do
me
well.
too.
You will do well.
Hopefully.
Now, talk a little bit about and one of the things I love about you is you love sports like I do.
Yeah.
We've actually gone to a soccer game.
Yes, we did.
Together?
And we were in the
We were on the
screen.
big screen.
Yeah,
That's
we were on the
right.
big screen, yeah.
But what are some of your hobbies when you're not doing ministry? And again, both as VP for Hispanic
Mm-hmm.
Ministries, VP for Multicultural at the Union, now as president. I mean, these are intense jobs that you have.
Yes.
What do you do to decompress? What do you do for fun in terms of hobbies?
I with my wife, we have developed this habit of doing exercise, and it's been a therapy, to be honest. So for the past 4 years, I've been very consistent in taking time religiously, and it has been very helpful to
Good.
me. Even yesterday when we came back from San Antonio, I told my wife I need to go to the gym. So I went to the gym. I put some Christian music, and then you kind of block
Yeah.
the whole thing, and then you're just fighting the weights, and then you're fighting the squats, and then you're doing all that, and then you're sweating. I can imagine what other people hear, because I'm listening to music, but maybe the other people listening me struggling with the exercise. But that is
Yeah.
that's something. Reading and with my wife. Thank God we have always a topic of to talk about.
Mhm.
So we talk about a lot, and of course, sports.
Yes.
Even you mentioned it that my wife is also knowledgeable of sports because she mentioned something about the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah. No,
So yeah, yeah, we watch sports
yeah.
and so those type of things. So reading, doing exercise, spending time
But
together, and watching sports.
but soccer. Let's
Oh
dive
yes,
into
of course. Yeah,
soccer.
yes, 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 yes.
You're very much. It's always
I
fun.
when I was younger, because we're still young,
We're
right?
young.
There
That's
you
right.
go.
Thank you for
So
that.
when we were younger, when I was younger, I played all sports. Like for instance, I would play soccer on Thursday evening, Friday afternoon, and then on Saturday I would play basketball. I was in the league, and then on Sunday I would play also soccer again. So that was my all the way till I was like 24, 25, 26. In soccer, of course, and I'm gonna say this. I like to make fun of one team of the Mexican league, and people that know, I don't think I'm not be doing it anymore. But I used to. I like that. I like that vibe of sports into just messing with each other and say my team is better than yours. And so yes, I like sports a lot. I played them all. I played baseball, softball. I played volleyball. I played basketball. So I'm very good. I'm very into
You've been
sports.
one of those you've been one of those people in my life that's helped me to learn more about soccer.
Yeah, yeah, soccer, of
And
course.
we've yeah, like I said, we went to the soccer game. We
Yes,
always
yes,
love
yes.
to talk soccer. But you have another interest that
Okay.
not a lot of people know about, but you're a very passionate Formula One fan.
Yes, of course. Well, because my great grandmother on my mom's side, she was very into Formula One. At that time that you would listen it on the radio, in her time. And then when I was growing up, 8, 9, 10, 11 years of age, and when I would go and visit her, she would bring the newspaper and tell me all about what had happened during the race during the weekend. So I grew up learning that, and of course, you are closer to the sport or farther according to if you like the drivers or not. So
Right.
right now, there's one driver that kind of is from the same. It has my same culture, to say
Yes.
this way. So I'm, of course, right now I'm very into it. I was very sad that he had to abandon the race a week and a half ago
Okay. Right.
because one of the tires, something happened. So, but yes, our Sunday with my wife, we plan Sunday according to when the race is. So if it's at 7 in the morning, then we plan according to that. If it's in at 3 in the afternoon, then we plan according to that. So yes, Formula One. And I didn't go to the race in Austin, but I went to the practice on Friday
right.
because I was going on my way to San Antonio. So I told my wife, why don't we stop here and then just, my goodness, to listen to those, to the power of those engines is
So
fantastic.
you've picked out, I've become a NASCAR fan over the last couple of years, and
Okay.
that's always a good conversation with
Yeah.
Elton. But now, the last couple of years I picked up Formula One, and
Yeah.
I'm not as religious as you are because some of them are early in the morning on
Yes,
Sunday. I'm like,
yes.
no, I'm
Let
not
me
doing
say that
this.
we do wake up at
Yeah.
5 in the morning. Sometimes my wife has been, she even more than me. To be honest, she's even more passionate than me.
Wow.
One time, I'm gonna say this. One time, she was so into this race that I recorded her, and then I showed to her, this is how you get into, because she was like, so yes, we're into it. Yes.
Ishmael, one of the things that you have said over again this last weekend has been a
Mm.
whirlwind since Thursday, but I've heard you say this in a number of different settings to our pastors, to our constituents, to the staff this morning. You're the same person,
Yes, I am. The
and
same
one of the
person.
things I appreciate about you being that person is that you're approachable.
Yes.
That people can talk to you.
Yes.
That you're not here. They're not
No.
here. You are. You've been chosen for this role, but you're still a fellow minister and a fellow brother in Christ.
Yes, thank you. And I like to say, when I'm in churches, sometimes people try to treat me differently. And for instance, after potluck, people is picking up stuff, and then I try to help and say, Pastor, no, you don't do that. I say, once a deacon, always a deacon.
Yeah.
So to be able to be part of when I go to a church, to be part of that family at that moment is way better than having a table for myself or for the leaders of the church. I like to be involved in the regular day-to-day activities and feel like one of the church members, one of the family. I love that.
And
Yes.
and so as people get to know you,
Yes.
again, you're very approachable. You're going to continue to preach in churches, and one of the things that I love is that none of us as ADCOM, the three officers plus vice presidents and even departmental directors, no church is too small or too big. If
No.
we get an invitation,
Yes.
we come, and
Yes.
we love being with the people.
Yes. Yes.
So how can people get in touch with you?
Okay, they can send me an email to president@txsda.org.
Okay.
Or they can call here to the office, and I'm pretty sure that we're gonna check in the calendar. We're gonna make a place to go to whatever church I can go into that time. So I love to be in the churches.
You.
I do.
Hence that January through May, one Sabbath where you're not preaching.
Yes, yes. It's because from the first to the second Sabbath of May, I did a evangelistic
Yeah.
series. So it has to be all the way from January to the second Sabbath of May. I only had one Sabbath off. And the reason of that Sabbath is because the church forgot that they had invited me. So I told my wife, hey, you know what? They forgot, which I don't. It's fine. I understand the situation. And I told my wife, I'm gonna look for another church. My wife said, no, take a break.
Take the weekend. There
So
you
then
go.
I took I took the weekend.
We're excited.
Thank you.
And I'm going to speak on behalf of the staff, but also our constituents. We're excited to see what God is going to do through you.
Thank you.
Again, all God's biddings are enablings, and
Yes.
it is a huge, huge mantle.
Mhm.
But we serve a great God who's called you, and I know that God has something in store
Yeah.
for you as you lead us.
And I wanna mention the following, and it has to do a little bit less of me, but more of the conference is I think Elder DeMorris did an excellent job leading us for the past 5 years, and then he presented this slogan, "Together as one."
There's one, yeah.
So we're continuing. There's no need to disrupt anything. So we're continuing. We're continuing that path. If there are things that we need to adjust, we'll adjust. But my desire is for us to continue working, to continue developing, to continue growing, and then and whenever God gives us a different a vision or different dynamic, we'll sit down, and then as we do with any other initiative, we'll do it with the direction of the Holy Spirit.
So all of that being said, is that our convocations are going to continue?
Yes,
This is on the
the
calendar.
calendar is going to continue.
Camp meetings.
Yes, of
will
course.
continue.
Yes.
Again, it's a matter of just, as you said, the continuity of what's already going on.
Yes. Yes.
Because we have had talking about convocations, and then we're going to bring this to a close. We've had 3 so far. We had
Yes.
the Valley, we had East Texas, we had San Antonio,
Mhm.
we got Houston in a couple weeks, Dallas. It has been such an awesome time
Yes.
to hear the speakers.
Yes.
Paula Messina, we had John Lomacang. This past weekend we had Tony Anoble Sr.
Mhm.
The seminars, being able to talk to,
Yes.
I've done, seminars. You did the seminars this past weekend. It's been a lot of fun to be out there in these churches, because we get to preach
Yes.
in different churches.
Yes, yes, and I want to say also that to me it's humbling to be before members of our church that they give their time, their resources, and still they want to keep on learning, to continue the growth and continue the mission of our movement. So yes, it is humbling and inspiring at the same time.
Well, again, we're excited to have you in this new role,
Thank
and
you.
I hope this is one of many more conversations that we
Of
have
course.
across the table from each other.
Yes.
And know that our members are praying for you as we
Thank you very
take this new
much.
role.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for another edition of texTalk. Again, follow us on YouTube to get the latest news and information. One of the things that we talked about this morning is how quickly the news went out when you were elected as president. So
Oh yes.
make sure that you follow the different Texas Adventist channels on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, so that you are up on the news and the stories of the things that God is doing. So until next time, may God's blessings be with you as we continue to serve God and expand his kingdom in the Texas Conference. Goodbye and God bless.